Oh, wow, that was such a rookie move that I made there. Dang, that was a rookie move. Well, I'll have to edit all that part out. So now we'll start this over again. Take two. Good thing for the editing thing in YouTube where I could actually remove this part out. So let's go. Take two. We'll try it again. Thank you all for joining me today. We're here. We're live. If you all can hear me clearly, which I believe you can now, just drop a one in the live chat. And if I don't sound too loud, please let me know if I sound a little bit too loud, which I shouldn't at this point. Black unsubscribe for that Bitcoin Black Bitcoin key. I know, right? You gotta unsubscribe for that rookie move. I'm sitting up here talking all in the mic, and my mic isn't even muted. I'm just not like in the stream. I'm talking to nothing. So yeah, all that kind of rookie mistake that I just made, you gotta unsubscribe for that. AB Promotion said he unsubscribed, and yo, you got to unsubscribe to this channel. You know, brother, you can't, brother like myself, I can't be making rookie mistakes like this. You gotta unsubscribe from the channel. Oh man, and to Deneen Grant, because it's funny, I did respond to Deneen Grant's comment, but she couldn't hear me because of my rookie move. No face today, Deneen. No face today. You know what's funny is that I did get a haircut last week, so I'm looking, a little clean right now. So now is the time to show my face if I was going to do it, but not today. But I believe I will show my face on Friday. Oh, everybody's unsubscribing. I cheated on you. I unsubscribed. Everybody's leaving the channel now. That's funny. All right. So now there's 232 of you all in here right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also please make sure you share this video out. Also, for those of you who haven't joined the texting group yet, the text message service that I have that many of you are already a part of. If you're not a part of that, please join that by texting tdhiphop to number 33222. Please text tdhiphop to number 33222. That way I can send you a direct text notification whenever I release a new video. I mostly send those out when I go live. Now, something funny real quick before we get today's show started. If you want to know why you didn't get a text today, because you didn't get a text today, and I know this is going to sound dusty. It's going to sound real dusty. And I already started the show out dusty, but I ran out of text, man. I couldn't send a text message out today, to everybody that's on the texting service because I ran out of text. I didn't have enough text to send it out to everybody. Okay. So that's what happened. If you're wondering, man, what happened to my text message? I didn't even know you were going live to just now. I ran out of text. Okay. That's what happened. I know it sounds dusty, but it is what it is. I thought what do you call it? I thought the subscription was going to kick in early, but it didn't. The renewal, it's every 25th. Every 25th, the renewal comes through Black Bitcoin Key, where they take the money out of the account and all that kind of stuff. But I thought they did it early sometime. So I was hoping that they did it today on the 24th. But, no. No dusty sounding text allowed. I'm over here dusty today, man. And I'm super dusty with it. But anyways, that's another rambling, man. I'm gonna get it together by Friday. All right. I'm gonna have my text in order. I'm gonna have my text plan renewed. Okay. I'm gonna have the text plan renewed. Right. And I'll show my face, with my crispy hairline. Right. That's a little pushback, but it is what it is because I'm getting older. So, anyways, shout out to everybody who supported the channel already. Jay the Informant, thank you very much for your contribution to the channel. Jay the Informant said Obama warning me about independent media fake news. Yeah, that's who I am. Shout out to Jay Money 16 who said this is my favorite channel on YouTube. People keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jay Money. And JD Informant doubling down. He said no jokes. You pre-ordered the new color purple. No, I did not pre-order the new color purple. I definitely didn't pre-order the new color purple. Oh man, but let's get into today's show, and thank you for everybody that's showing love to the channel early. So but let's get into what's going on right now. Right, let's try to knock this out. I believe it was 2 days ago, right? It was 2 days ago. Ice Cube was trending on Twitter, for a good portion of the day. And when I finally clicked on his name to see what was going on, how could I say this? Black Democratic Party loyalists, right, were going crazy online. They were going crazy, completely losing their minds over like a recent statement Ice Cube made about Black America's relationship with the Democratic Party on this podcast called Full Send Podcast, right? And the Kamala Harris Brigade, as what I call them, was out in full force, right, in their attempts to do a cleanup job, basically for Black Americans that are in a sunken place, blindly voting Democrat year after year just to get nothing in return for their vote. And I think I'll show you right now when I say that the Kamala Harris Brigade. I can actually pull that up for you. I want to show you guys exactly who I'm talking about. Hopefully, I have it bookmarked, which I should. Let me show you guys the Kamala Harris Brigade. I'm on Twitter right now. ADOS is trending. I haven't seen that trending in a while, so that's interesting. But I don't have time to click on that, unfortunately, to see what's going on. But let me show you the Kamala Harris Brigade, right? I think you guys will find this humorous. Here we go. Share the screen. And I think you all will know most of them as well. But here's the Kamala Harris Brigade. How many of you are familiar with these people that are on your screen right now? Are you familiar with them? This is the Kamala Harris Brigade. They were out in full force, and it wasn't just them, right? It wasn't just them. It was more than just them, than these five. But like, I think we're all familiar with the Kamala Harris Brigade right here. They were out in full force, coming out against Ice Cube. Yeah, man. So they were pretty upset, right? But now what I want to do, all jokes aside, I actually want to take a moment to play what Ice Cube actually had to say. Let's listen to what he said and what he spoke on the Full Send podcast, and then we'll get back into the discussion. So let me pull that up for you right now.
To ask about was like in the 2020 when you kind of supported Trump and stuff like that. What did you think about, like, because you're Hollywood, there's a lot of like propaganda and stuff like that. What was that like, getting flack for that?
I mean, I never supported Trump or Biden. I never asked to speak to the Republicans or the Democrats. I created a document called The Contract with Black America that spelled out a lot of different issues that we believe were the reason why it was so much unrest after George Floyd was killed. And I released the document, and everybody wanted to talk to me. The Republicans asked to talk to me, and the Democrats. I went to talk to both of them about the contract. The Republicans asked, could they implement some things from the contract into their proposal? And I said the document was open for anybody to use in any way they desired. So if they just want to use it as educational purposes, they could. They wanted to add more, paragraphs or more ideas to it, they could. They wanted to use it to get a law change, they could. So I didn't mind them using it. I met with the Democrats. The Democrats said, we like 90% of what's in there, and we'll talk to you after the election about it.
There's like a stigma amongst like the African American community to like Republicans and stuff like.
Now, here's what really sent everybody through the roof is when he responds to this. So my apologies for interrupting. Let me start his question over again. This is what really had the, Democrats on Twitter, the Black Democrats and the Kamala Harris Brigade going crazy
after the election about it.
There's like a stigma amongst like the African American community to like Republicans and stuff like that.
I don't know what's going on in the African American community when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like, Black people have supported Democrats, overwhelmingly for
Mhm.
50, 60 years. And nothing has changed. So something's got to change.
Now tell me, did he say anything wrong? What did Ice Cube say that was actually wrong? What did he say that was incorrect? What did he say that was, I don't know, unintelligent, nonsensical? What did he say that wasn't true or factual? Everything he said was spot on. And the thing that kills me the most is that it is amazing, right? And yes, some of you are saying that's all he said. That's literally all he said. If you're wondering why he was trending, I'm sure some of you saw he was trending on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, if you're wondering why he was trending for like 2 days straight, that's literally all he said, and they were going crazy. And I see the comments coming in. He didn't say anything wrong. All factual. He didn't say anything wrong. But one of the things that kills me the most is that when it comes to the black people, right, in America, black Americans, it's amazing how much of a crime it is to tell black people in America to consider thinking differently. When you say something like that, to consider thinking differently as it pertains to politics, it's as if you've told black folks the most egregious thing in the world. And if you're listening to Cube and you look at his approach, he's not telling anybody to go either way. He's actually showing us the correct way to do it. You come up with your plan, your black agenda, you present it to both parties, and whichever one bites or says they'll implement it, that most likely will be the way that you'll go to vote based off whether whichever party says that I'm going to support your agenda or I'll implement it or I'll implement parts of it, right? That's actually what makes logical sense. It makes logical sense to approach politics that way. But if you tell black people that, it's as if you said something completely insane. It's insane to say something like that because black people are just supposed to be, one-dimensional thinkers, one-track minded. It's Democrat or bust. And the reality is that we've been busting. Pause. I'm not from New York, but I thought about that. But from the basketball sense, from an NBA sense, when they say championship or bust, right? We've been busted, right? In all seriousness, since 1964, man. Since 1964. And shout out to Bronze to God for the support. Thank you very much, Bronze to God, for the super chat. I appreciate all the support that you all send me to this channel. I truly do. It's deeply appreciated. It is humbling. But we've been failing in that regard, right? Since 1964. 1964 was when this vote blue no matter who nonsense began with black Americans. So from 1964 to 2000 to the now upcoming 2024 elections, that will be 60 years of voting blue no matter who. It'll be 60 years of that nonsense. We literally, follow me, we are literally sitting on 60 years, over a half a century of evidence proving that the vote blue no matter who strategy was a failure of epic proportions, right? We're sitting on 60 years of evidence. And the Democrats look at the black community, based off of having this type of evidence, but we keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. The Democrats look at the black community, if we're being honest, as well-trained dogs who are faithful to their masters to a fault. And because we operate, as well-trained dogs, then why do anything for black Americans if they're just going to vote for us anyways? That's the mindset of the Democrats, right? They operate knowing good and well that we're not going to do anything for you. And they never do. They never do anything for us. They operate knowing full well that they won't do anything for us. They'll entertain us, right? They'll sit there and shout out a couple of statistics concerning disparities, right? They'll humor you. They'll humor us. But they themselves operate knowing they're not going to do anything for us because we refuse to think differently and consider different options or different approach or different strategy. Because like I said, if you tell black people to think differently and to just consider certain things or consider different things, that's criminal. Something's wrong with you, right? You're idiotic, apparently, if you do that. And what I want to do, right, is that I want to take a moment now to prove the point. I want to prove the point that the Democrats do absolutely nothing for Black Americans, right? I want to prove that because I don't like to just talk just to be talking. I like to prove that what I'm saying is true, right? Um, but first, before we get into all that, there's 573 of you all in here. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Please smash the like button. There's 573 of you all in here right now. Please hit the like button for me, please. Hit the share button, share this video on your social media platforms. And also, if you're new to the channel watching right now, please hit the subscribe button as well. Hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button. Thank you very much, Roderick Jackson, for your support to the channel, and also for being a channel member as well. Roderick said, I agree with Ice Cube. Positionally and by all measured criteria, we haven't benefited or improved. We haven't. We haven't at all. At all. Right? You know, but the first thing I want to do really quick before I get into the evidence that we haven't benefited at all and that nobody can show you this benefit that's come out of Vote Woo no matter who. Before we get into that, I do want to address really quick the whole situation surrounding the Biden administration never reaching back out to Ice Cube. I want to touch on that because, you know, when you come back to the you know, what I call the Kamala Harris brigade, right? You know, and all those like them, what they like to do is that they like to point out a fact that some people don't know, right? Because this news kind of went over people's heads for some reason, is that Kamala Harris actually did reach out to Ice Cube, right? She reached out to him like back in October of 2020. It was like maybe like a month before the actual election. She reached out to him. And Ice Cube declined to speak with Kamala Harris, you know? But why? Why did he do that? Why would he decline to speak with Kamala Harris about the contract with Black America? And that's what I want to get into right now, because I want to put that to bed, because he had very good reason to turn down the Kamala Harris invitation. And here's why. Ice Cube explains why he blew off a Zoom call with Kamala Harris. I want to get things done. As a direct quote from Ice Cube, I want to get things done, right? So now let's go down to this highlighted portion here. The NWA rapper and actor recently revealed on Fox Soul's Cocktails with Queens that features Claudia Jordan, Vivica A. Fox, Lisa Ray McCoy, and Miss Johnson. I can't pronounce her first name, but it doesn't matter. That he turned down a request by the California senator to be part of a Zoom call because he did not want to be lumped in with other entertainers and passed on the offer. So we're going to get into more details, but they were trying to lump him in. Kamala wanted to lump Ice Cube in to a Zoom call, right? A panel with multiple other entertainers. Okay. So now we're going to get into actual some quotes here. So this comes from what's her name? Claudia Jordan, right? So she asked Ice Cube, Kamala Harris folks reached out to you and wanted you to be on this Zoom call because they thought your voice was important. Why did you choose not to participate in that? Jordan asked. Now here's Ice Cube's response. Excuse me. We had spent a lot of people's time putting the contract with Black America together. And I just thought that getting on a Zoom call with 12 other entertainers, all shooting what they believe needs to be done, to me, wasn't going to be productive, Cube said. And it wasn't. There wasn't going to be anything productive about that at all. Him getting on a Zoom call with a bunch of other random entertainers. It wasn't going to be productive at all, right? It was going to be something nonsensical. And thank you very much, TS 175, for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate the support. And also thank you very much, Sankofa, for the cash up. Thank you all for the support. It's deeply appreciated. It truly is. But there was no reason for him to get on a nonsensical call like that. Now, but let's get into who else was going to be on the panel with Ice Cube, right? because this is nonsensical. Ice Cube took a lot of time to put together this contract with Black America with a lot of very important people, highly respected people, intellectuals, scholars, professors, doctors, so on and so forth. This isn't something that he just typed up on his own and said, here we go, right? He didn't just put it through Chat GPT, right? It took time to curate this, right? And this notion that now you're going to have me come on a silly panel with, other entertainers is completely ridiculous to talk about something that's as important as this, right? So, oh my God, all these little thingies are in the way now. So let's read what this says here. And also, there are 683 of you all in the live stream right now. Please, I'm just going to refresh the page. This is really annoying, all those things on the screen. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. There are 683 or 692 in you, of 692 of you in here right now. Please hit the like button if you have not already. Please hit the like button. Share this video out on your social media platforms. And also, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, right? And you're not subscribed already. Okay, please do that as well. Now, here's who was on the panel. This is the nonsense that they want Ice Cube to participate in, right? Ice Cube proceeded to detail a conversation he had with Representative Cedric Richmond, in which he was told to wait his turn. Richmond contested that narrative on Monday, but Ice Cube persisted in his version of events. And here's Cedric Richmond, if you all don't know who he is. Am I spelling his name right? I don't know. Here we go. This is Cedric Richmond. So many of you all know who he is. And if I remember correctly, at the time, during the election, Cedric Richmond was one of Joe Biden's advisors, right? During a campaign, like Joe Biden and anybody running for president, they have numerous, so-called advisors, and Cedric Richmond was one of his advisors. He was on the team like up until like maybe the first year of Biden being in office, and then he went to pursue other things, I guess you can say. But that's him. And I'll tell you right now, I don't believe Cedric Richmond's side of the story. He's saying that things didn't really transpire the way Cube said it did. Cedric Richmond is just another typical politician. No, I don't believe him. I believe Ice Cube over Cedric Richmond, right? But here we go. Let's get into what was actually on a Zoom call. When I had the Zoom call with the DNC, and when he's saying that he's talking about the Zoom call that he had with Cedric Richmond, right? When I had the Zoom call with the DNC, the Democratic Party, we was on the call. Okay, I apologize. When I had the Zoom call with the DNC, the Democratic Party, we was on the call for probably 45 minutes, and we never even got to the contract with Black America, Ice Cube said. We never went through any of the points that needs to be dealt with when it comes to the situation in this country, right? So they never even addressed anything serious at all. He was on the phone on a Zoom call with Cedric Richmond for 45 minutes, and they never even talked about the contract with Black America. Now get this, as far as the Zoom call that they wanted him to be a part of with Kamala Harris, Ice Cube remained adamant that he did not make a mistake in declining to be part of a Zoom call, which also featured D.L. Hughley, Snoop Dogg, and Killer Mike. Are you serious? A document as serious as the contract with Black America. Ice Cube was looking to have a serious discussion about the state of Black America, right? Alongside which I'm sure he would have brought other experts with him as well. He wanted to have a serious conversation about the current state of Black America, right? As it pertains to the contract with Black America, as it pertains to his document, the contract with Black America. And what Kamala Harris wanted to do is have him on a panel with D.L. Hughley and Snoop Dogg. I'd be offended. Honestly, I would be highly offended if I'm coming to you with an actual properly made Black agenda and you're telling me, hey, you got to hop on the Zoom call with D.L. Hughley and Snoop Dogg. That's the only way we can talk. That's nonsense. It's disrespectful. It was Kamala Harris's attempt at killing multiple birds with one stone just so we can say we got the Ice Cube problem out of the way. That's all that was. They tapped her on tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Hey, listen, can you deal with the whole Ice Cube thing for me? Let's just get it out the way. But we don't respect you enough to actually deal with you one-on-one and discuss this. So we're gonna have you on a panel with DL Hughley and Snoop Dogg." I would be highly offended, and I would have rejected the offer as well. Right? Ice Cube proceeded to say, "I don't feel like I made a mistake. I made a mistake for not being on the call with Senator Harris," and he didn't make a mistake. He didn't make a mistake at all because it was disrespectful, right? I mean, maybe Killer Mike is cool, but understand, a documented series is that I don't want anybody on a panel with me. It's us discussing this, let alone DL Hughley and Snoop Dogg. What is Snoop Dogg going to talk about with Kamala Harris? It's nonsensical, man. Thank you very much, No Nonsense Keith, for your support to the channel. No Nonsense Keith said, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution to the channel, No Nonsense Keith. And shout out to AB Promotions as well. AB Promotions said, comma, show me you're not serious without telling me you're not serious. TD, keep going, bro. Thank you very much. And yeah, show me you're not serious, without telling me you're not serious. You know how you can show me that you're not serious is by telling me to hop on a Zoom conference call with Snoop Dogg. That's how you can tell me that you're not serious. Yeah, get on this conference with Snoop Dogg, DL Hughley, and like Charlemagne the God. Yeah, come. Let's talk about that. Oh, let's talk about that with them. It was disrespectful, and he rightfully declined. So now let's take a moment to move on from here, right? Because I want to get back into proving my point that that Ice Cube was more than correct in his statement that he made on the Full Send podcast when he stated that it was time for Black Americans to do something different. It's time to try something new. The vote blue, no matter who strategy, you can say, has not worked. What are the things that I've repeated over and over and over again? And also, thank you very much, Robert, for your support on Cash App. I see you, brother, on Cash App, and thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I talk about this over and over again. You guys probably get sick of me saying this. I haven't said it in a while because I try to dial back on repeating a lot of the same stuff over and over again. But what do I always tell you? Since 1964, you've had this experiment of voting blue no matter who. And what has been the ending result of it now 60 years later? By 2053, the median wealth of Black Americans will be 0. And by 2065, you will be 4th on the American population list. You will be completely politically insignificant and completely wealthless, statistically speaking. Many will argue now we're already wealthless. I understand where you're coming from with that. But that's a whole nother level of being wealthless when you're talking about being wealthless from, I guess you can say, a realistic standpoint, if you just kind of want to look at how things are now, versus when the actual data says, yeah, y'all are wealthless. That's a whole nother level of wealthlessness that I don't even think we are able of wrapping our minds around that, right? That's where that's got you. By 2059, by 2065, Black Americans will be completely wealthless and 4th on the population list, completely politically insignificant in this country. That's what that's gotten you. But we're being told that we're not supposed to think differently or think out the box or try anything new or try different type of negotiation strategies because that's stupid, right? Now, once again, let me get back to the point because I want to round this out rather quickly. I want to take a moment to prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. So for anyone who thinks, oh, you're reaching and the Democrats have done plenty for us, I'm going to prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt right now that they never done anything, they don't do anything, and they will not do anything. And trust me when I tell you, I'm holding back. I'm not even giving you all of the proof. I'm holding back. What I'm going to show you right now is damning enough, right? And shout out to Slauson Girl for coming through. Shout out to Slauson Girl. I see you in here. She said, we too discombobulated. We are. Black people need to stick together. We are too discombobulated. I 100% agree with you, Slauson Girl. I 100% agree with you. And so I'm going to get into the proof right now. Shout out to, I believe it's called Dolomite Fan Number 1 for the super chat. Dolomite Fan Number 1 said, I think we missed the mark in the 60s by not forming our own independent party. The Dems only interceded then for our civil rights to get our votes. I 100% agree. I don't disagree with you on that at all. I don't disagree at all. And shout out to the big homie Ryan Glenn. Shout out to Ryan Glenn, man. Y'all know who he is. He used to write for me on the TD News Network website. One day I'm going to get that website back up again. But shout out to Ryan Glenn for showing support on Cash App. I appreciate that, brother. But let's get into the facts, okay? And the first thing I want to start off is with this. And I've played this before, but I'm going to play it again now. I believe it was a couple months ago. It was this year when Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about reparations. And one of the things that you'll notice with Karine Jean-Pierre is that every time she's asked about reparations, she always has like this kind of baffled, this look on her face, like, why are you asking me about that? Right? But she asked about reparations. And in asking about reparations, how things transpired is that she had a clear opportunity to finally put to bed the idea, right, that we put forward and that I put forward, that Black Americans, that Democrats have done nothing for Black Americans, and the Biden administration has not done anything as of now, right? So let me play this clip for you, and it actually comes from the video that I did on it. It's maybe about 2 minutes long, and then we'll come back into the discussion. Also, there are 801 of you in the live chat right now. Please, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Please hit the like button, share this video out, and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. But really, most importantly, hit that like button. Thank you. Now, let me play this video clip for you right now. Telling you what the Biden administration truly feels about HR 40 and I'm sorry, what the Biden administration has. Let me rewind that back. Now, after telling you what the Biden administration truly feels about HR 40 and reparations overall, she then proceeds to talk in circles and begins fumbling and bumbling over what the Biden administration has done for Black Americans over the past 2 years. And I want you to listen up clearly, because when I said fumbling and bumbling, I was not being facetious. When she proceeded to speak to address what the Biden administration has done for Black Americans over the last 2 years, she literally could not get her lies together. She talked in circles and said absolutely nothing specific other than
But I would lay out and speak to what the president has done over the last 2 years. When he came into office, he talked about the different crises that this country is dealing with, and one of them was racial equity and racial equality, and fighting for that for communities like the Black community. And one of the things that he did right away, straight away in the beginning of his administration, is he signed an executive order that made sure that across the government that we had an approach that dealt with inequality, that we had, that made sure that
my God, she's struggling.
That political appointees in those agencies put that equality lens as they were moving forward with dealing with policy. And so that's important in really getting to the root of that issue. Clearly, that's on the federal level. And just last month, he issued a second order reaffirming the administration's commitment to deliver on that equity. So the president has shown his commitment. He's spoken to this issue that in particular the Black community has to deal with for generations upon generations. So he is going to continue to lift that up. But as it relates to the legislation, we want to leave that in the hands of Congress. Okay, Courtney.
Now, she was struggling dumb hard, wasn't she? You know you lying when you the Black community, that's all, folks. What did she actually say? Can somebody please explain to me what she actually said the Biden administration has done for Black Americans? You can't answer that. If you've been sent this video, and when you, for those of you who are listening right now, and you're trying to convince your family members, friends, relatives to just think differently, think a little bit differently for once, play that part for them, and then just ask them, what did Karine Jean-Pierre understand? Karine Jean-Pierre is the mouthpiece of Joe Biden. She's the mouthpiece of Joe Biden. That's what she is. When she speaks, what she's saying is what Joe Biden thinks, feels, and believes. If she says this is what Joe Biden has done and she proceeds to say nothing, that means he's done nothing. You heard her very clearly stumbling and bumbling over her words. Can somebody please explain to me what she actually articulated that Joe Biden has done for Black America? Nothing. She couldn't tell you one thing. Not one thing. Come on, man. And people are going to tell me that it's a crime to think differently. And, people want to come into, people come into my comment section and say, oh, you must be a MAGA Republican. Let's pretend that I was. And what? I'm not, but let's pretend that I was. Let's pretend that I was. After 60 years of doing the same thing over and over again, if I was, would you fault me for it? I'm not, but if I was, would you fault me for it? After seeing my people do the same thing for over half a century, yielding no results. Come on, man. Come on now. And I'm not even telling anybody, just like Ice Cube wasn't telling anybody. He wasn't telling anybody, go run to the Republicans. He just said, just think differently. Actually take a strategic approach. Pull together your Black agenda and bring it to both parties. And whoever bites, whoever says, hey, I'll implement it, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll try this, I'll try that, whoever bites, whoever's sold on it, well, there you go. I guess I'll side with them. I guess I'll go that way because they're the ones that say they're going to support my interests, right? Once again, if you say that, oh, you're crazy. Despite the fact that I literally just played for you Joe Biden's mouthpiece, who sat up here and couldn't tell you not one thing that the Biden administration has done for Black Americans. And I have more. I got one more piece of a video clip, and it's a clip that you all seen before, but I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play it one more time for you guys. Before I do that, thank you very much, Cedric Peoples. Cedric Peoples said in the super chat, I noticed Ice Cube got some of that pushback with the so-called queens. And it's unfortunate that a guy named Cedric would go against Ice Cube. The so-called politicians that look like us work for others. Absolutely. Absolutely. They look like us, but they don't work for us, right? And I'm glad you said that because here's where we get into the Congressional Black Caucus. And many of you know where I'm going with this already because I've played this before, but it's appropriate for me to play it again. We're going to find out exactly what the Congressional Black Caucus does for us, since apparently they do so much, right? They do so much. Well, I guess, okay, let's see what they do for us, right? And also, thank you very much, Jared, for showing love on the super chat on the Cash App. I deeply appreciate it. All the love that's coming in today to this channel, I deeply appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's definitely humbling, and the support that I get through super chat and Cash App and whatnot, it definitely does not go unnoticed. Also, make sure you hit the like button if you have not hit the like button already. There are 927 of you all in here right now. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel as well, and share this video on your social media platforms. Also, if you haven't, in order to combat shadow banning, please make sure you join the text notification group by texting tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. And also, lastly, and then I'll get to the last video that I want to play, please make sure you follow me on Telegram. The link to my Telegram is pinned in the live chat above, highlighted in blue, but the link is also in the description box below and will be pinned in the, in the comment section after this stream is over. But follow me on Telegram as well. This all helps to combat shadow banning. Now, that's enough of me rambling and telling you all that stuff. Let's find out now what the Congressional Black Caucus actually does for Black Americans. Let's get into all that right now. Now, it wasn't too long ago that Jamal Bowman, Big Homie Bowman, was on, I believe it was called Crossfire with Tiffany Cross on MSNBC, the show that got canceled and she got fired from, right? He was on, I believe it was called Crossfire with Tiffany Cross. And she asked him a very direct question, right? Of what does the Congressional Black Caucus do for Black Americans? Translation: what do Black politicians do for Black Americans? And this is what Big Homie Bowman, one of our great Black leaders, apparently had to say.
I had dinner with a friend of mine, and he was saying that there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect because he's like, you know, you're here in D.C. and everybody's so important, and, you know, you are talking to members of Congress and administration officials. It's a disconnect between your conversations and what's happening out here in these streets.
Yes.
So how do we bridge that gap? Because I don't feel disconnected from the streets. Like, I'm you, and you are everywhere I am, you are. Mm-hmm. But some people feel like, yeah, this politics and policy, it doesn't impact me, it doesn't touch me. And when I look to the Congressional Black Caucus to do something, what are they doing? How are they supporting me? And I always try to explain what they're doing, but maybe you can do a better job.
Now, mind you, the reason she said she passed the buck to him like that because she couldn't explain it as well. But I'm sorry for interrupting. Let's let Jamal Bowman answer the question. What does the Congressional Black Caucus actually do for Black people? What do they do? What do Black politicians actually do?
Explain what they're doing, but maybe you can do a better job.
We need to be out there in those streets.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I always mention Yonkers, Mount Vernon, the Bronx, and New Rochelle when I go on mainstream media is because I want people in my district to recognize there are Black folk in my district who are struggling and have been historically struggling. So I make it a point to go into Eden Wall projects and to go into the Black communities to really listen, learn, and understand what's going on. Plus, these are communities that I come from, so I feel more comfortable there. I have to also mention this about this particular legislative conference, and to the point you just made. There's classism in the Black community, and we need to talk about the classism in the Black community, and we need to address it head on. Just because I got degrees, or I go to a certain church, or I'm a part of a certain fraternity, or I went to Ivy League or private school, it doesn't make me an elitist. Right. It doesn't make me more privileged as someone that can look down upon, especially our people, because our people still suffering. If we don't uplift them, they will never be uplifted. So we got to deal with the issue of classism. One way is we might want to change the dress code a little bit for the next conference, because I want to see brothers and sisters from the hood who have never been to this conference before. We need to bring them to the conference.
Yeah, I think that.
Okay, before I play what Tiffany Cross has to say, because what she says afterwards is very important too. Excuse me. Did he answer the question? That's what it did. Did he answer the question? She asked him a very direct question. What does the Congressional Black Caucus do for Black Americans? What do Black politicians do for Black Americans? Did he answer the question? Or did he go into rambling about, I don't know, the streets and the hood and dress codes and, I don't know, yo stuff? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what this man's talking. I can't relate. I don't know what he's talking about. The streets, the hood, this, that, and the third. What? If you can't bring, Congress to you, you got to come to Congress. What do you do? He didn't answer the question. So now that's two very recent videos now. The mouthpiece of Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre, was asked a very direct question concerning what has Joe Biden done for Black America in the past 2 years in office. She literally could not answer the question. She started rambling nonsense, which means he didn't do anything. And then Jamal Bowman is asked a very direct question concerning what does the Congressional Black Caucus actually do for Black America? What do Black politicians do for Black America? He couldn't answer the question. He didn't answer. He started talking nonsense about the streets and the hood. That's insulting. It's insulting. And it's nonsensical, right? Shout out to Mo Fax, man. What's good, Mo? Mo Fax said he answered what Black people can do for the Democratic Party. Get out and vote. Exactly. Exactly, Mo. What do Black politicians and the Congressional Black Caucus actually do for Black Americans? Well, what Black people can do is get out and vote. That was his answer. Completely ridiculous. But now, here's the nail in the coffin. Listen to what Tiffany Cross has to say here, right? Listen to this, please.
What makes such a difference?
Let me rewind it just a little bit, and then we're going to close this thing out.
them to the conference.
Yeah, I think that would make such a difference, because if the streets don't feel like Congress comes to them, then come to Congress. You're a big enough voting bloc and a large enough, harness your power that it should matter. They should feel welcome.
Incredibly powerful as black people.
If we weren't, they wouldn't be trying to take our votes.
Incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Once we start to harness that and leverage that, then we can help this country become what it's meant to become, and we're not there yet, obviously.
And some people think the Congressional Black Caucus is the caucus that settles everything for black people, but a lot of members represent districts that are majority white even. It just happens to be this caucus that tries to fill in the gaps in the conscience of the Congress.
And some people think that the Congressional Black Caucus are supposed to settle the affairs of black people. Silly black people. Tricks are for kids. You didn't know that? Silly blacks. Tricks are for kids. You thought that the Congressional Black Caucus were supposed to settle the affairs of black people? Some of them have majority white constituents. They're just there to fill in the gaps. Tricks are for kids, silly blacks. You thought that the Congressional Black Caucus was here to do something for you? How silly are you? I'm going to play that again. How insane is that? How insane is what she just said? Silly blacks, tricks are for kids. I'm going to play that one more time, and then we're going to get out of here, man. There was 1,006 of you in here. Please make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Smash that like button. Smash that like button if you haven't already. And that's a new milestone for this channel. I've never hit 1K live viewers before. So that's what's up. Hopefully you all tune in on a regular basis. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And let's run it back one more time, because that's beyond unbelievable. She literally says, silly blacks, tricks are for kids. You thought black politicians were supposed to do something for black Americans? That's what she said. That is crazy. That's crazy. But you're not supposed to think differently. But you're supposed to keep blindly voting blue no matter who. And if you tell black people otherwise, I'm the one that's crazy. I'm the one that's stupid. I'm the one that's low IQ. I'm the one that's unintelligent. I'm the one who doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me tell you something, man. I'll be dead honest with you. Anybody who's still telling black folks, you just got to vote blue no matter who and blindly vote Republican, that's your enemy. That is an enemy. That is an enemy. Anyone who is trying to frustrate black Americans from thinking differently in terms of strategy and how you go about politics and how you go about trying to accomplish your goals politically. Anyone who's telling you to think differently is your enemy. And it is amazing how it works out that anytime someone comes on, like Ice Cube, who says, hey, we need to do something different, this vote blue no matter who thing doesn't work, you're automatically some sort of a MAGA Republican. Come on, man. It's nonsensical. Thank you very much, Adrian Hicks, for the support to the channel. Adrian Hicks said, Adrian Hicks, all of the folk that called me Trumper for asking the same question have been awfully quiet over the last 2 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. Quiet. Really quiet. Now, let me play this one last time, because I just want to remind you guys, in case you didn't know, silly blacks, tricks are for kids. Okay? How foolish of you thinking that black politicians are going to do something for black people.
And some people think the Congressional Black Caucus is the caucus that settles everything for black people, but a lot of members represent districts that are majority white even. It just happens to be this caucus that tries to fill in the gaps in the conscience of the Congress. People, but a lot of members represent districts.
We're not there yet, obviously.
And some people think the Congressional Black Caucus is the caucus that settles everything for black people. Caucus is the caucus that settles everything. And some people think the Congressional Black Caucus is the caucus that settles everything for black people, but a lot of members represent districts that are majority white even. It just happens to be this caucus that tries to fill in the gaps in the conscience of the Congress.
Come on, man. Vote blue no matter who. Yeah, just get out and just keep voting Democrat. Just keep doing what you've been doing, because it's been working out great, hasn't it, guys? It's been working out really good. Toby Me said, I can't stand these butter biscuits. I don't know, man. Butter biscuits is kind of good, but I think I know what you mean. You got to be more specific, Toby Me said, I can't stand these butter biscuits. I mean, I don't know, butter biscuits, they taste kind of good, man. But I think you mean Jamal Bowman and Tiffany Cross. I think that's who you're talking about. But be more specific next time, man. It seems like you're just being hard on the food, bro. Don't be hard on butter biscuits like that. Be specific. Put a name on it, okay? And listen, man, with all that being said, that does it for today's show. I got to get up out of here. I appreciate you all joining me today. There's 972 of you all in here. Please hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't hit the like button already, share this video out on your social media platforms. And also, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, right? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and share this video on your social media platforms. Join the text messaging group to avoid and combat shadow banning by texting tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That helps combat against shadow banning. So that way, whenever I release a new video, you get a direct text to your phone. And that avoids all of the nonsense that comes behind not getting a notification. And also, if you have not already, please join me on Telegram. Follow me on Telegram. The link to my Telegram is pinned in the live chat. It is also at the top, highlighted in blue. It is also in the description box below, and it will also be pinned in the live chat, in the comment section as well after the stream is over. So, with that being said, I will catch you guys this Friday for another live stream at 1 p.m. I won't skip out on that one, even though this live stream is running an hour. Remember last live stream that ran an hour last week? I got up on Friday. I said, I'm not doing no live stream. Y'all already got an hour out of me on Monday, but I'll be back Friday for another live stream. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hit that like button on your way out. Peace.